Puss in Boots. Once upon a time there was a miller with 3 sons. When the miller died, he left his sons the mill, the donkey, and the cat. The oldest son took the mill, and the second son took the donkey. The youngest, who was left nothing but the cat, was miserable. Nevertheless, he was satisfied with his portion, and didn't complain. "Do not worry, master," the cat said. "As long as you have a mind and good morals, you will be fine. Just give me a bag and a pair of boots. You shall see that your inheritance is far greater than you think." The young man knew Puss was very clever, so he went out and got the cat what he wanted. Puss pulled on the boots and slung his bag over his shoulder. Puss knew that the king of the country loved partridges, so he decided to make a trap to catch some of these birds. He hid in a field and propped open a bag full of seeds. When some partridges dashed into it, he drew the strings and caught them. Puss hurried to the palace with his bulging sack. "Halt!" barked the guards. "Where do you think you are going?" "I have a surprise for the king, something he loves so much," said Puss. "I am sure that his majesty will be very happy when he sees it, and very angry if he finds out that you have turned me away." "Very well, you look honest," said one of the guards. "I will take you to him." In the king's room, Puss said, "I knew that you love partridges, so I brought you some, hoping that you buy them with a good price, so I save my master from poverty and he could start a small business." The king liked the partridges, and was mostly impressed by the cat and his loyalty to his master. So he decided to buy the birds with a high price, and said to himself, "The master of this faithful cat must be a good man." And he hoped to meet that man one day. The cat brought home a bulging bag of coins. He opened it in front of his master and said, "Do you see? From a small trade I gained a large amount of money. That's because I used my mind first. I didn't look for anyone to buy from me, but I was determined that the buyer must be the king of the country." The young man was convinced that Puss was even more clever than he had expected, and started to establish his own trade. Puss always accompanied him in his business. One day, while the cat's master was bathing in the river, the king and his beautiful daughter passed by in the royal carriage. At that moment the water flow in the river increased. The cat's master was no more able to swim, and started drowning. Puss heard his master's screams, so he ran to the royal carriage asking for help. The king recognized the cat, and ordered his guards to save the young man, and to offer him a royal suit. In his fine new clothes, the miller's son looked so handsome that he impressed the king's daughter. The king admired the young man, and knew that he is a self-made person who wants to start his life with an honorable job. And when he noticed that his daughter admired the young man too, he said, "I will let you marry my daughter, on condition that you save the country from the vicious wizard who spreads evil all around the country." The young man was astonished, but the intelligent cat calmed him down, saying, "Don't worry, I will help you in this." The young man accepted the king's request. Puss hurried along the fields, asking the farmers about the castle of the wizard. At last Puss came to a huge castle. The master of the castle was the richest and most powerful wizard the country had ever known. Puss knocked on the door. It asked to speak with the wizard. "I could not come so close to your castle without stopping to pay my respects," Puss said. The wizard invited him to sit down. "I understand that you can change yourself into all sorts of creatures," said Puss. "Yes," said the wizard. "Let me show you." The wizard turned himself into an elephant. Puss waited until the wizard took his true form again. "That was very impressive," said Puss. "I have been told that you can also take the form of a very small animal, such as a mouse. Of course, this is impossible." "Impossible!" cried the wizard. "Nonsense! Nothing is impossible for me." As the wizard spoke, he changed himself into a mouse. Puss pounced on him and ate him up. Puss came back happily to his master, who was very pleased, and they both went to the king to tell him. The king was overcome with delight, since the wizard used to cause harm to people, and now he has gone away. "You and your cat are so brave and intelligent, and I decided to give you the wizard's castle to live in with my daughter." The young man knew that satisfaction, honesty, and intelligence were the key to the happiness he gained. He married the princess and lived in the big castle. As to Puss, he became a pampered cat and accompanied his master all his life.